Alright. Alright. I haven't forgotten about the password. Of course not. Let me wait. Okay, there we go. Did I unmute myself? I did. Okay. Just making double, triple, ultra sure about that. So, welcome back to Password. I will still stream Password like at least once per week, depending on how life goes. But I'll try my best to still stream Password because I'm generally involved, or yeah, I'm generally involved in the game, and I really want to get to the point where I'm no longer blind, which is gonna still take a while to happen. But yeah. So without any further ado, let's go. Where was it? I think it's right there that I left. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that looks about right. Anyways, I was wondering what? I noticed that Benson was now listening in, curious despite keeping his attention for the most part on his porridge. What's everyone doing today? Probably just hang on around until I'm ready for my nap. Maybe I'll go soak in the tub for a bit before turning in. Maybe I'll do the same. Hot tub, huh? Mind if I tag along? Not at all. Might take a load off today. Just sit and watch TV. Orlando, want to join me for a bit? Sure. Watching anything in particular? Nothing comes to mind. How about you pick? Alright, I think I've just got the thing. It's getting harder and harder to get to get Orlando's voice on par, because I really imagine him to have like a slight bit accent, but I don't even know what sort of accent it is. I just imagine him with that voice, but it's kind of hard to like have the same voice for every stream, and I feel like I'm sort of like on every stream giving him a slightly different accent, but whatever. What about you, Roswell? No plans. Might just be lazy today, or wander around the house. Well, okay. What, worried about me? I can take care of myself. I shot Roswell a look, wary but said nothing more on it. I didn't need to talk to him about yesterday, but I had to get a start on searching for the library. Well, good. Meet back for lunch then? Dinner? There were nods all around, and I got up to leave. Benson, something's been bothering me as of late. Oh, whatever can I do to tease your troubles, Master Roswell? To ease your... bleh, not tease, jeez, ease. It's just... We're only we're the only ones here at the moment, right? Here at the moment. It's just the 8 of us here in this room now. Wait, just the 8 of us. Just the 8 of us here in this room now. My eyes darted to Benson, who moved to play with his mustache once more. That's correct. The only ones currently in the manor are the 8 of us in this room. No one else. Right as Husk cleared his throat, I looked at him. He caught my eye and stopped, about to say something, but giving me a look instead. Was he about to call out a lie from Benson, or should I let him? My mind tried to remember if this was going to be a problem or not. I vaguely remembered something about Oz not wanting to give himself away, so if he was a mysterious 9th person in the manor, was I meant to keep him hidden or say something? Benson must have caught Haas's gaze directed at me. Him too, now looking at me expectantly for a decision to be made. No one else was saying anything, seemingly happy with Benson's original answer. Just hey, 8, huh? Okay, so this choice is actually extremely important. So, I'm unaware if you can see my mouse cursor, but I'm assuming that you can't. You see that on just under the day, there's a path. This choice has an effect on the path. In my knowledge, there is 4 paths going from A to D, so A, B, C, D. This choice is relevant for choices A and B, for paths A and B, but not C and D. But I'm saving here just for when I come back to get paths A and B. But right now, since I'm going from worst path to best path, this choice kind of doesn't matter right now, but it will matter. So just to get started on path B, because just so I don't have to roll back far back, for path B, you have to reveal Oz. So I'm gonna reveal Oz right now. But isn't there 9? There was a silence following my question. Benson's expression was somewhere between disappointment and contained panic. So there was someone else here. Interesting. I could see Benson tensing up. I wasn't sure if I was meant to be ashamed that I opened my mouth or relieved that there was no more secrets to be shared. Better question is, why hide it? Even better question, who is it? My apologies to all of you. The master of the house is, indeed, still here. Wait, what is that word? What is that word? His proclivity for being a recluse led him to believe that his presence here was unnecessary to divulge. After all, he never intended to interact with any of you. Why? We're staying at his house, right? It is a he based on master, right? Wait, what is that sentence? Correct. Well, I guess that's not so bad. If he wants his space, that's fine, right? He leaves us alone. We leave him alone. What's the big deal? Last night. Does he know about last night? He does, yes. But I assure you, he paid your search no mind. He's a skeptic, shall we say? He doesn't believe you were in danger either. As I said to Master Dave, the thought was flattering all the same. That you would all flock to your friend's aid is a touching sentiment too. The Master and I were both pleased that the youth of today would have such a solidarity for one another. So what? He's gonna come say hello now that we know he's around, or nah? Likely not, Master Tyson. He does like his space. Well, whatever then. But now, Master Dave, no need to worry about this anymore. I apologize again for misleading you. I assure you that everything is fine. I got the impression Benson was trying to stop me from saying something, but I couldn't place why. Well, that's it then. Now we know there's just the 9 of us in the house. Unless there's gonna be a mysterious 10th person showing up later, there shouldn't be any case for alarm, right? Precisely. Now, if I may, I will take my leave now. Laundry calls. Benson strode out of the room. his dishes from breakfast held neatly in front of him as he disappeared into the kitchen. Chances were he'd take the exit from there out into the rest of the house to avoid coming back into the dining room. Saul, are you doing alright? I have a bad feeling about this. About what? I don't know. It's just something's not seeming quite right with me. Like feeling sick or? No, more like an uneasiness. Something feels wrong. Well, if you figure out what it is and we can help, let us know. It's probably nothing, but I shall let you know if I figure it out. Well, that clears that up. Well, I'm going to go wander around the mansion. See everyone at lunch. Roswell left soon after in the same way Benson did, disappearing into the kitchen. I'm gonna get changed for the hot tub. I'll be coming to... Tyson? What? You're coming, yes? Oh, yeah. Give me five to get ready. The three of them filed on out, leaving their spots at the table as they were. Thankfully, they hadn't made too much of a mess, but... Must have been in a hurry. Didn't clean up after themselves. Haas started stacking his dishes along with Tyson's before moving onto Saul's. Well, I was going to offer to clean up after breakfast anyway. Least I could do given you helped make it. Well, I'm happy to help out too. Many hands and light work and all that, right? Sure. Between the three of us, it will be quick. We gathered up what we could and brought it in the kitchen, making a few trips back to put what leftovers we had back in the fridge for later. That should about do it. Shouldn't we wash the dishes too? I feel bad for leaving them for Benson. It'll be fine, right? Will it be though? Probably. Come on, Orlando. Let's go hang for a bit. I watched both of them leave, seizing up the dishes. There weren't all that many in the grand scheme of things. Maybe I should do the dishes. At the same time, though, I could just as easily leave them for Benson to do. I think for the prospect of, figure out where the library is, I think we need to talk to Haas as soon as possible. No, sorry. I need to talk to Haas to show me where the library is. I'll leave them for Benson. That's fine, right? Orlando and Haas must have hurried along, as there were no sign of them when I entered the foyer. I did a quick stalk of who would be where, thinking about Benson's clue from earlier. One of my friends had been here before, apparently, but how to start figuring out who? Would they just tell me? Why wouldn't it have come up before? Who could it be, though? Almost on cue, I looked up to the stairs, hearing the footfalls of those coming down it. Based on how Dean was dressed, seemed as though they were on the way down to the pool. I stepped aside as they reached the bottom of the stairs, so I was out of the way. All three of them headed out back. Guess they were sorted for the morning. I'd catch up with them later. For now, I had somewhere I wanted to be. Wait, what? I headed upstairs and wandered into the museum. This was the best place to start looking, after all. I had a good reason for assuming this too. Oz knew I was here, and of all the rooms I knew that I knew existed, there was no better to start researching. After all, where else was there likely to be a secret held? With so many books, the answer was bound to be in somewhere, right? Pulling a book at random off the shelf, I started to flick through it. I frowned, seeing nothing but pages upon pages of text regarding something. The words were long and difficult. Wow. What is this anyway? Turning the cover over my hand, I looked at the title. I really should look at the covers of books. This one's just about, wait, mycology? I looked at the book again, flipping through. Sure enough, there were pictures of mushrooms, listing what they were called, a bunch of other scientific terms about them. This book is too hard. Can I have just pulled, can I just have one with pictures? Wow, he can't read. I put it back on the shelf, pulling out another one, not bothering to look at the cover in favor of checking if it has pictures first. Okay, so he really cannot read. Wait, this is just children's stories. I read a few of the titles as I flick through the pages. Stories that I remember my dad reading to me as a kid. But now was not the time for such stories. They weren't going to help me find a library. Doing some light reading? Whoa, Roswell. It's only me, don't worry. Doing some wandering of your own? I half expected you to follow the others to the pool, or even hang out with Huss and Orlando in the rec room. Well, just thought I'd do some research. Oh, on anything in particular, or? Oh, you don't have to try so hard, Dave. A lot of these books are well beyond the normal comprehension level of people our age, Dave. I can still try. After all, after yesterday, I don't want to be the one everyone's protecting. No offense, but what you were claiming was a bit out there. Right, that's why I'm looking for proof. Anything to prove I'm not crazy. Well, alright. Need some help? I won't turn it down if you're offering, but I'm able to do it myself, I think. If you say so, I'll just go look over here for some completely unrelated reason then. I shot Roswell a dirty look as he wandered away, snickering to himself. It seemed as though his attitude was still lingering. The next half hour we just looked through books in silence. At some points Roswell picked something out and sat down on the floor, leaning against the wall as he idly read something he'd chosen off the shelf. So much for being beyond our level of comprehension. Sorry. Still, I kept at it, before finding a green-covered book and flickering through it. The moment I saw floor plans, I knew I'd hit the jackpot. Wait, what? Most of it was about the architect that built the house, but thankfully it had the original floor plans along with the annotations, on some notes regarding the layout. The downside, however, no library. In fact, a large portion of the house seems just to be not here. The vault wasn't listed in the basement. Some of the rooms that I hadn't been to weren't on here, almost as if they'd added a whole extra wing as an afterthought. Damn, I thought that'd be it. What would be it? I hesitated, wondering whether or not it'd be best to clue Roswell in to what I was looking for. Whether or not he was the one that has been there before. I shot him a look sizing him up. I was wondering if there was maybe a clue as to how the mansion was built. Anything in particular? Maybe a clue to where more meadows could be? Roswell looked at me, expression blank, shy of that smile that had been plastered, he had plastered on his face. It was hard to tell what he was feeling, but it was clear he was thinking in the silence following my question. Hidden rooms, stuff like that. Hidden rooms, huh? Interesting. Interesting how? Well, if the master of the house is here, that's the only place he could be, right? Because we hadn't seen him yet? That and it explained where Benson would be disappearing to. What do you mean? How he was just scarce? Well, think about it. If he was just sick, he'd just be in one of the bedrooms, right? And there are plenty of those, and we're up at different enough times that we should have seen him leaving to get some medication or even food, right? I guess that makes sense. In any case, secret room seems likely. Huh. Well, any ideas on where any could be? Honestly, they could be anywhere. Unless you went through every room with a fine-toothed comb, you're unlikely to get one by accident. You have a fair point. But are medals really why you're doing this? Or are you just itching for an adventure? I gave Roswell a quick once-over, unsure. Gotta do something, right? Especially after yesterday. Maybe there's something more to what's going on? Yesterday was sure something. Not gonna lie there. Yep, you were tearing into ties something fierce too. So what if I was? Don't you think that you were going a bit overboard? I've never seen you act that way. It was, well... It was what? You were being a bit of an asshole. Like, saying that he's unable to love? That's pretty low, Roswell. And if it's true. But how do you know it's true? Have you spoken to him recently? And why would I go and do that? You do remember who he is, right? Tyson? Tyson? Remember? No, I remember just fine. Remember, he's my friend? You really think that? You really think that he's what? That he's changed? Well, yes. Given his behavior so far, why would I expect that all of a sudden he's turned over a new leaf? Because he hasn't? Exactly. No, what I mean is, it wasn't sudden. He's been like this for a while. You were gone a long time, Roswell. Things change. You can't honestly expect me to believe that you've fallen for him. No, not that, but just, go on, Dan. He's important to me. Roswell shook his head, setting his book down and standing from his spot on the floor, rubbing his temples. You have Stockholm Syndrome. Pretty bad, Dave. What? Have you forgotten anything bad that he did? What do you mean? You can't honestly tell me that you've forgotten everything he did to us. He shaved your fur. He stapled my ears. Oh, jeez. My God. To the school notice board. He dragged you around by the tail. Need I mention the countless times that he beat you for your lunch money? But that's all in the past. What? And I'm just meant to forgive him? Oh, sorry, Tyson. I guess I should have forgiven you for everything now. Dave said it was okay. That's not what I meant. Then what, pray tell, are you meaning? It's not really my place to say, is it? Do you genuinely have a reason for him, or are you just making excuses? I sighed out, micking Roswell and rubbing my own temples. Just when you moved away, a lot happened. Sure, Orlando was around, but Tyson was also around. Things changed. But I also learned about other things. Why he did some of the things he did. Oh, this is gonna be good. What sub story did he tell you, Dave? Not so much of a sub story, but I was over at his place once and there was a fight with him and his dad. Kept me behind him the whole time so his dad didn't get to me too. What? And you just stayed there? Why didn't you run? Because I wasn't going to abandon him, Roswell. He was hurting because of me or something else. It didn't matter. You just don't abandon people in trouble. You can't be serious. I am. What would my dad have thought if I left him in the lurch like that? He was in trouble and I was the only one that could help. So what happened after? He didn't tell you his life story? No, this all happened after I knew bits and pieces. This was more proof, maybe? Not that some of the things he said were stuff you'd normally lie about anyway. Like the lunch money thing. What about the lunch money thing? Well, probably doesn't show now, but he doesn't get to eat every meal, Roswell. If I find that hard to believe. Okay, so maybe I invite him over pretty often to eat. So now he's just leeching off you at home. It's not like that. If you didn't get to eat every meal, sometimes for a week, what would you do? Roswell, he stole from us so he didn't go hungry. Whether he wanted to or not, he didn't have a choice. When his dad was blackout drunk, he showed me. The cupboards were bare. What little was in the fridge had gone off. It was real bad. That's not an excuse. Look me in the eyes and say that, Roswell. I dare you. You've been so harsh on him that you haven't given him a chance. You don't even want to give him a chance. Yesterday was just not fair, so much so that you should probably apologize. You can't be serious. There's no way I'm apologizing to him. What, and you're going to keep picking fights with him? You're the smartest out of everyone here, Roswell, so I expected you to at least know better. I somehow doubt that he's the smartest in the group. Yes, he knows a lot of occult stuff, but I don't think he's the smartest. What? You heard me. Tyson can be a jerk, but yesterday you were more of a jerk than he's been lately. I let the comment hang in the air for a bit. Roswell went to speak a few times, the words just not coming. Instead, he resigned to pulling at the fur on his chin instead. I felt uncomfortable confronting Roswell like that. There was history, I knew that, but with him being gone so long, it just didn't seem right that he'd be holding on to things that happened so many years back. So, was there a reason? Anything? Did he do something recently or? No, not that. There's a reason. Is it a good reason? Probably not, honesty. I've just been overly conscious of something of late. Something that's worth taking out on Ty. I just keep thinking to myself, time. How much do I have left? How much do we have left? Oh god. And here comes the meta talk again. I swear to Christ, he knows more than he lets on. He's creepy about things. Like, he's oddly, teasing you about what could be happening. What sort of time? before we part ways? The vacation? That told you. He's like the fourth wall breaker character. Death. We have so little time left, Dave. We're both young. How can you possibly think that? Countless possibilities for tragedy around every corner. I feel the shadow of the Grim Reaper lingering over us more and more as time goes by. I wish I could say that this was just some shtick that I'm pulling like I would to get a rise out of Orlando, but I generally have this sense of dread about things. Nothing in particular, just in general. Someone's going to die, Dave. I can't tell you how I know, but I know. I don't know who either. You, me, or one of the others. It could be anyone. But then antagonize Ty? He didn't deserve what you pulled yesterday. It's not that. Just if I were to die tomorrow, or even if he were to die tomorrow, I just want to try and balance things out. That was about balancing things out? Yes? 'Cause to me it just seemed you were being a dick for no reason. Excuse me, he had it coming! Not to the extent you went to. You seemed to get in whatever you could with one thing or another, and I don't want to see it happen again. You realize that he's just been leeching off you this whole time, right? No, he hasn't. What? And you think there's some noble reason that he's the way he is? Some excuse he's fed you? Roswell, I'm telling you, Tyson hides something, and there's a reason why I like Tyson. But that's gonna be for when I do his route. But there's a genuine reason why I like Tyson. So yeah. I don't need anything you said as proof. I've seen it, Roswell. I just told you that. I've seen firsthand what his dad does to him for no reason. I've seen how bare his cupboards are. I've seen him be scared as you or me for the smallest things we take for granted. Shut up, okay? It's not because of that, okay? No. Like what? Like having a safe place to sleep. Or not having to worry about going hungry. If he'd told me that when we were kids, I'd have trouble believing him. But having seen it? So, he had a reason for this whole time to treat us like dirt? And I'm just meant to forgive him? To some extent, yeah. And why is that? Because, like it or not, Roswell, I nodded to myself, knowing full well where I'd place Tyson, staring down Roswell. Family. That is the reason. That is the reason I like Tyson. So basically, Tyson acts like a big bro to Dave. He genuinely cares for Dave. So yeah, that's why I like Ty. You can't be serious. I am. He's important to me. Maybe like another... Yep, exactly, as I said. Maybe like a brother if I had to pick something. But maybe something different entirely. But he's still that important to me. Oh, you'll see when I do his route. He genuinely cares for him, even though he doesn't show it directly. And if you're going to make me choose between the two of you, then, well... Is it really going to come to an ultimatum? It better not, because I'm not picking sides. Just know that if you put me in a position where I have to pick, I'm going to have to weigh up the fact that someone's making me choose to abandon someone, and if they're worth keeping around. Roswell looked me over. I could see him searching me for an answer, as if he wasn't completely sold that I was being genuine on that claim. Look, just no more potshots at Tyson. He's been good so far, right? What about the other day? What about the other day? I'm not an idiot, Roswell. You were pressing his buttons deliberately. You can't prove that. Oh, shut up, you gremlin. You're right, I can't. But I know Ty, and I know you. And I know that you know he wouldn't kick up a fuss about the wolf and dog thing unless provoked about it. And why would you rile him up like that anyway? Was it to try and get him to hurt you on purpose? Are you jealous? Are you trying to get rid of him? What? Okay, fine, I'm jealous. Also, sorry if you heard that. I hope you didn't. We were friends first. He is a terrible person, and I hate that I didn't clear who. I hate that I didn't clear who you wanted to bring first. Okay, good. No, you need to accept that he's changed, or at the very least give him a chance. I can't make you apologize, but I think you owe it to him. Or if not an apology, promise me you won't go making it hard on him on purpose. If he acts up, then by all means, but don't go picking fights with him. Because it was not a good sound to hear. I didn't want that to be... whatever. Forget it. Fine. Oh. I misread it actually. Shit. Whoops. My brain didn't read the words correctly. Whoops. Well, just too bad then, I guess. I can be dumb sometimes. Roswell started to grumble, kicking the ground. I'll try. You mean it? He sighed out, retrieving his book and dusting it off, tucking it under his arm. It's not easy to let that go. I want to see proof from him that he's gotten better. You're not willing to trust me on this. Not really. Those scars run deep. I want an apology from him just as much. So if you apologize to each other, I'll consider it. We're here for our month, so logically speaking, you're right. It makes no sense to be at odds given proximity. He wandered past me towards the entrance of the museum. Where are you going? To my room. To read. And the apology? You're not my mother, nor my therapist, Dave. I'm not trying to be, but you're my friend, and I'm trying to help make things better. Well, let me work through it on my own. I reached out of vain to stop him from leaving, but he strode out the room with a purpose. Oh boy. Looking around the museum again, I wondered if there was any hope of me finding what I was looking for in here. As much as they were books, this apparently wasn't the library. It did leave me with two options though. I could check up with the guys at the pool or see what Haas and Orlando were up to. Master Dave. Oh, hello, Benson. How are things? Fine. Thank you for asking. How fares the search? Not too well. I was just in the museum trying to figure out if there was floor plans or maybe something as another clue. Have you questioned your friend yet? Oh, no. Only spoken to Roswell, but he wasn't very helpful. Not that I asked him about it directly. Ah, well, the day is still young, Master Dave. Now, if you excuse me, there is much work to be done. Sorry. Alright, see you later, Benson. I watched as he wandered down a side corridor and out of sight before weighing up what I should do next. There was still some time before lunch, so spending on how long I checked in with either group, I might not get a chance to check with the other. Alright, I'm gonna save just in case, but yeah. So, like I said, the answer is Haas, so I need to question Haas. I could hear them as I approached, discussing about something in earnest. The moment I heard my name come up, I hid on the outside of the room, listening in. What about him? So, did he seem odd this morning to you, or what? Not really. Why? Do you really believe him when he said with the thing downstairs? My breath caught in my chest, waiting for the answer from Orlando. Of course I do. I just worry that, what if I was wrong in what I saw? What if I was wrong in, well, wrong in what? What I experienced, and what he experienced being the same thing. But did you see something? I'm positive. I just don't know what to make of it. It was fuzzy, like I was dreaming, or that there were a few things going on at once. I just worry that this is going to be to mess with him in some serious ways. Both of them fell silent, sneaking a peek. I could see them both thinking it over. I look this as my cue to enter, doing my best to pretend I hadn't overheard anything. Hey guys. Dave. How long have you been there? I caught some of the conversation, but should I pretend I didn't hear it? No, it's alright. Just talking about yesterday. It's weird, right? The whole thing about downstairs. What is that thing? Why is it affecting you like that? I wish I knew. But you guys have been talking about that all morning? Oh, no, just came up really. We've just been swapping back and forth between shows, just relaxing. So, another day at the anime club then? God, my throat is getting a bit rough already. Jeez. I hope I can last long. Sort of. All we're missing is Roswell. Well, don't go expecting him to come join us. He's settled in to do some reading at the moment. Did you run into him? Yeah, I was just looking in the museum for something and he ran into me. It wasn't much of one, but I spoke to him about yesterday too. What did he say? You could probably guess. Essentially, he's jealous, but what Tyson did to him was to him way back runs deep. I didn't realize that it was, well, that bad. Sure, Tyson still gives me the shakes when he's talking to me, but he hasn't actually done anything that bad. You don't think so? All things considered, he's been pretty blunt, and outside that one thing with Roswell, he hasn't been that bad. Can't be that bad a guy if he's willing to help me out in the gym, right? Don't go starving then. I just don't pass out. That makes sense, I suppose. I don't know, I'm still a little skeptical. Well, would you be willing to give him a shot, Orlando? I don't know. It all goes on. What's the worst he could happen? Well, I suppose you're right. If it helps, maybe I can be in the room too. What do you mean? Like, how about you, me, and Tyson do something? Same with you, Haas. I don't know. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe we could just watch a show together. Anime. Got it. Okay, this guy only watch anime. Okay. Wait, no. Tyson likes anime too. Maybe we should make him we should make him a shirt. Wait, what? Okay, maybe we should slow down a little bit. Maybe find out if he wants to watch anime first. Okay. Haas, we have to pick something good. If you haven't watched anime before, we have to start off strong, like with Death Note or something. Do you think he likes Death Note? That's a tall order. I don't even know what sort of things he like. Well, maybe we can take off the magical girl anime. Unless he's like Saul, I don't think that'd go over very well. A sport anime? Maybe just to get something with a bit of humor. Maybe just ask him. But otherwise, that seems like a good idea. Include him in things and maybe he'll be, well, we'll see. There's time, right? Right. Come sit with us for a bit, Dave. We still got a bit before lunch anyway. Alright. For the next while, I sat with Haas and Orlando watching the TV as they swapped episode with one another. Then it was time for lunch. We filed out and headed downstairs. We reached the bottom of the stairs, with me lingering behind Haas and Orlando. Was it worth us asking them if they'd been here before? It'd be better to ask one of them now, before we all grouped up again, right? Ask Haas. There you go. Hey Haas, can I borrow you for a moment? Me? What's up? We just need your opinion on something, but in private. Alright. Sure. Orlando wandered towards the dining room on his own, while Haas and I remained on the stairs. So, need my opinions on something? Yeah, sorry. Don't apologize. For what it's worth, the shirt looks fine. Cute even. What? The design. It's cute. Oh, thanks, but that's not what I wanted to ask about. Well, I'm all ears. Have you been here before, Haas? Haas? Sorry, did I hear you correctly? Were you asking if I'd been here before? Yeah, to the mansion. Like, Benson reckons one of us has. Does he now? Mm-hmm. How did that come up anyway? Oh, remember, I'll know if you're lying. I know. I was looking for something, but that's the only clue Benson gave me. Well, if you could call it a clue. So far, so good. What are you looking for? A room, actually. Wait. I thought back, my memory coming back to me. Something Haas had said way back when we arrived. Haas, there's a library here, right? Yep. Can you show me where it is? But you already know where it is. Surely you've been there already. With the suit of armor, no? No. That's a different room. That's a museum. Well, I guess I was mistaken then. You're lying. Haas, the day we got here, you said, that the library was a big room that covered multiple floors. Right after Roswell talked about the museum. So, so... I swapped D2. Whoops. So, you must have found it then, right? That or you've been here before? Haas sighed out, running his fingers through his mane, sizing me up. The corners of his mouth twisted upwards, almost as if he was trying not to laugh, but he kept a straight face beyond that. Sure, I can show you the library. You mean it? Yep, a cat's out of the bag. I know where it is, so I'll show you after lunch. Sweet, thanks. Although, you don't strike me as the library type. Is there another reason you wanted to go there? You know what? Don't worry about it. You don't want to tell me. It's written all over your face. But if you ever feel like sharing, you've got my curiosity piqued. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. But lunch? Lunch. By the time we all filed into the dining room for lunch, we all looked at one another, wondering where lunch was coming from. Had we not decided this beforehand? Still in my mood of wanting to do more, I wandered into the kitchen. After all, I may as well have a turn at some point, right? Lunch. I looked around the kitchen, wondering what I could make. I hadn't exactly been told anyone I was going to make lunch, but that should have been the expectation, right? The loaf of bread I'd pick up seemed good. Sandwiches were lunch, right? Sandwiches. Don't go hungry now. I must have zoned out. I could smell the bread in my hand as I thought back to lunch at home. To breakfast before toast had been made. The game is teasing you, sorry. Dave, are you okay? He's got the bread. Burn my bread! Sorry, the meme. Saul, not now. Bread sandwiches, right? I gestured to the loaf in my hand in vain, momentarily forgetting if bread was necessarily for sandwiches. For lunch? Yes. Yeah. Did you need some help? No, I've got it. Just, what do you want on them? Peanut butter? I don't mind peanut butter, but... Can I have, well, I prefer PB&J if we're doing sandwiches. Oh, I can do that. I'll go get what you need, Dave. Call it out and you can be the chef today. I'm gonna get the bread. But I have the bread. You can both have the bread. No way one loaf is going to be enough to feed everyone anyway. It was pretty basic, but after I got to cutting the bread, along with the loaf Saul brought it over, I assembled it all into sandwiches and brought it into the dining room. Sandwiches! Can't beat a classic, thanks. Dean sounded tired, but he took a sandwich and sat down, eating a lot slower than I'd seen him eat before. Ty wandered over and snatched up a sandwich before sitting down a few seats down from Dean. Biting into his sandwich, I must have had too much peanut butter on that one, as he started eating with a lot less gusto and chewed a lot longer on the second bite. Haas came up next, taking a sandwich and taking a bite without bothering to sit down. Roswell took his sandwich much like Tyson did, without a word before sitting on the other side of Dean. Well, thanks for the sandwich. Sorry, it's a little basic. Hey, you took the initiative and made something. Doesn't matter if it's something fancy or basic, you made an effort. I chuckled, embarrassed but held onto a sense of pride welling up in my chest hearing Orlando say that. You got that bread. Sal, I don't think... Oh no, he's being literal. We walked in on Dave with a loaf of bread in his hands. Is that not what you say when someone goes for their goals? And Dave's goals was just bread? For sandwiches. Oh, honey, no. I find it cute. Orlando and Saul took a sandwich before I sat the platter that I carried them down. Taking one for myself, I stayed standing, looking around as I ate. I looked to us and I caught him looking back at me. He was going to show me the library, which made the next part of my day easier. All that I needed now was to scope it out and go from there. Well, I remember. Who's on dinner duty tonight? Please, not me. I guess I can go again. Even though you were last night? Well, someone's gotta do it, and Dave did the lunch. Any other takers? I'll do it, assuming I get my nap in. Might need some help though. Roswell, are you able to give me a hand? Oh, I suppose so. Should we plan what we're going to have then? Well, let's see if we can find Benson first. If he's got dinner sorted, then we won't need to do anything at all. If I see him, I'll let you know then. Once we all been fed, I took the platter back into the kitchen and wandered back into the foyer. Everyone else had wandered off for the time being. I didn't even pay attention as to where. Not that any of them had struck around to see what I was up to either. Well, now what? I guess I could, Oh, no, wait. I didn't notice Benson until he'd cleared his throat, just standing off to the side. Ah, is everything alright? Yeah, everything's fine. I even know where the library is. I'm glad. Well, I still need to go there, but Haas is showing me later. Oh, really now? Yeah. There was a few moments of silence before Benson spoke again, almost to the point where I was wondering if I was meant to say something else. Shall I leave you to it then? You seem to have yourself sorted. Yeah, okay. I think I know where to go from there. Then I am glad. But, Benson? Yes? Thanks. Think nothing of it. I watched as Benson wandered off down the corridor back towards the kitchen, leaving me alone in the foyer. My next job was to go find Haas and get him to show me the library. I scrunched up my nose as I tried to think things over. Haas knew about the library, so he'd either been here before or he had just found the room, right? But if he if he'd been here before, did that mean he was behind the others dying? The thought sent a chill down my spine. The other option was that he was Oz, which meant he was trying to help, right? Why doesn't this... But it doesn't... Looking up from the foyer to the first story, I wondered where he was now. He said he'd show me, and there was no time like the present, right? I started to climb the stairs, figuring I should check his room to see if he was there. Haas? I peeked into his room, covering my eyes just in the off chance he was indecent. What are you doing? Are you decent? Nope, stark naked, Dave. Oh, I'm just messing with you. Come in. I shuffled into his room and closed the door behind me, eyeing Haas carefully. What, something on my face? No, just nervous? Curious? About what? Well, you were going to show me the library, right? Ah, right. You're not just pulling my leg, right? You can actually show me where it is? Yeah, I can. Wanna go now? I'm free, but if you're busy... Not at all. Shall we? I followed Haas out of his room and let him lead me to the conservatory. I I looked around. There was no way this was a library, and Haas seemed to be aware that I wasn't buying it. So, the library. The library. This isn't it. Nope. But we get there through here. What do you mean? Alright, well, consider it this way. We're in a reading room, right? Right. So, books. Exactly. Haas wandered over to a bookcase against one of the walls, leaning against the wall beside it as he continued. And what better source for books than a library? Nodding in confirmation, Haas pulled 2 books on the bookshelf forward and something clicked. I watched in awe as Haas gently slid the bookshelf aside, revealing a corridor beyond. It was dark, my eyes straining forward to make out anything further down. Despite not being complete darkness, it may as well have been. Why is it so dark down there? Lights don't work, but come on, I'll show you the library. Haas turned the light on his phone on, stepping into the corridor. With one last look at the conservatory, I followed. You doing alright? Stay close, we don't want you tipping over anything. I shuffled closer and bumped directly into Haas, who had stopped suddenly. He reached back, feeling down my arm until he took hold of my hand before walking forward, holding his phone in front of him. The corridor must have been long because we were walking for a bit before we stopped. Why'd we stop? We're here. Ready? I nodded in darkness. Who knows if Haas could actually see me or not, but he proceeded to forward anyway. The room filled out before us, bookshelves filled to the brim in some cases and left completely bare in others, a lot of which I could only make out as Haas scanned the room with his phone. Ta-da! The library. Huh. I stepped forward, looking around some more. We were standing on the higher of the 2 levels, with a rail stopping me from just falling down to the floor below. It's dark here, too, but why? There's no windows either. Nope, it's just, well, a private library for sure. But how is this here? How deep are we? Still on the same level as the conservatory. Go down there and you'll be on the same level as the bedrooms. Haas and I wandered forward carefully as my eyes tried to adjust to the dark. Kinda cool, huh? But there's no lights. Only candles. See? Down there. Haas pointed down to the lower floor, with a large desk sat with a few candles set up, unlit. The only way I could make them out in the dark was because they were bone white against the dark wood. Okay, so the conservatory is the only way in here? As far as I know. Huh, alright. So, why do you want to come here? Oh, I was just looking for it. But why though? Not all that much here. Only, well... Haas started to lead the way, descending a staircase guiding me over to one of the walls. My heart sank as I realized what I was looking at. Wait. Before us looked a very familiar looking door, right down to the keypad sitting next to it. There's another one? Sure looks like it. This wasn't what I was expecting to find here. What were you looking to find here? Unless there's a book, there's nothing here, right? Yeah, you're right. But how do you find this room? How do you know about the books? Have you been here before? Okay, fine. This mansion? Yeah, I've been here before. I know it very well. After all, this was where I was supposed to make my first big break as an actor. Wait, really? Yep. Didn't realize until we pulled up, but this is the same place. Confirmed it when I tried the bookcase. Who else knows about this? You having been here before, I mean. Honestly, it'd be hard to say. Benson would know, if only because he was around when we were setting up. What about the owner? The owner of the mansion? Dunno, never met him. Do you know his name at least? Nope. He was scarce when we were setting up the hidden microphone and cameras for stuff. Always just assumed he was off somewhere else, given we had free reign to wander around. Damn, okay. So, happy? I guess so. We stood in silence for a few moments before my gaze wandered over to the vault-like door on the wall. So, what are you going to do? Keep this a secret? I don't know why you were keeping it a secret still, especially after, well, about Benson. Well, yeah. To be honest, it's a few different things. I left a lot of regrets here. Being here again both makes me pumped up as if I was getting another shot, but also sad that it never got to eventuate. So, places like this, they're private, at least for now. Places that only I, and I guess now you, can enjoy. Secrets, you know? I nodded slowly, understanding somewhat. I'm sorry, Haas. At least I feel like I should be here. I should be? I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know. It's just that. That's confusing. I chuckled quietly, pulling my gaze to the floor. I leaned back on the desk, sighing out. At least I was ready for tonight, it seemed. Happy? I think so. Good. Whoops. Good. Haas, are you okay? There were a few moments of silence before he sighed out, scratching himself through his mane. Just secrets, this whole thing. Can I share another one with you? Oh, okay. It's part of the reason why I moved out here. Admittedly, I'm bisexual, right? Oh, you like girls too? I just like guys. Nah, I'm gonna kill you and all your friends, Dave. Focus, Dave. Oh, sorry, go on. Anyway, it's the liking guys part of the problem. Parents are constantly asking me if I have a girlfriend. Moms wants kids, but guys are just easier to get along with. Well, I don't know what it's like for lions, but hyena girls like okay. I just prefer, well, I pointed down, hoping Haas would get the picture. It's not about that, Dave. It's just family stuff. Expectation. What? To have a family? That said that adopting was always an option. A family is a family no matter what. Oh, Dave, if only. There's certain views about what the family should be that makes it hard. Me liking guys isn't setting a good example for my siblings, for instance. I shook a little, confused. But that doesn't make sense. Why does that matter? Love is love, isn't it? It'd be nice if that was the case, but I don't know. Huss sighed out and came to stand next to me, leaning on the desk. Just the library. What I just told you. Can you keep it a secret for me? Just for a little while. Please? Okay. Only for a little while. We'll show the others soon. I just, If you don't, I will. Especially because I pointed to the door he showed me, looking to Haas as to see him nod. That's fair. If another thing happens like last night, then we'll show everyone right away, right? Yeah? I think that'd be best. Otherwise, what, a couple days? Tomorrow? Tomorrow is not a couple days. Oh my god. Couple days. I think I'm gonna do Haas route last. Or no, I cannot do Haas route last. I kind of have to do Dean's route last because I have to check something first on Dean's route. But give me a chance to get the courage together. Okay. For now, wanna get out of here? It's dark. Probably dustier than it needs to be. Unless there's something else you need from here. No, I think I'm good. Haas moved to lead the way, making sure the light on his phone was on before making his way towards the stairs. I rushed to catch up to him, hesitating on my approach. I felt like I understood Haas a little better. Maybe understanding why he'd keep this under wraps. No. Nodding to myself, I took the last few steps confidently, shooting Haas a friendly smile. Alright, let's go. Up the stairs and back through the dark corridor, Haas guiding the way until we were back into the current conservatory. I winced as my eyes adjusted to the light. One last thing. Haas pulled the bookgate back into position, locking it into place with an my god, that word click. He then pointed to the two books, tapping their spines. Pull these two to open it. And to close it, I just move it back. And that's it. Oh, but here's the important thing. If you're on the other side and someone's closed it, you're stuck. No way to open it from the other side. So what happens if I get stuck? Well, I guess if you go missing, I'll come check here first. Otherwise, maybe just have your phone on you to call for help. Nah. Does this get used all that often? You know, I'm not sure. I'd assume Benson would know about this too. Whether he uses it or not, who knows? Easy, I'll have my phone on me when I go visit it. There you go. Now, was there anything else you needed today, Dave? What? So now that I've showed you my secret, you're done? Exactly! Screw you! No, well, yes, but Yes. But what? But what? Bleh. I kinda... Did you need a hug? I kinda want... No, you don't. You don't. What? Because of before? I feel like I shouldn't have pride. And not only that, but you, with your family? Without a word, Haas stepped forward and hugged me tight, pinning my arms to my sides. Shit. Oh. As best I could hug them back, I caught catching a whiff of something strong and tropical smelling in Haas' fur. It reminded me of the beach. Is there anything else I can do to help? No. Nah, it's alright. I'll just go chill out for a bit. Maybe take a cat nap. Haas let me go and wandered over to the door leading out. See you at dinner? Oh, okay. He was gone before I could even wave. Looking out the window, I saw that there was still more hours of sunlight left. Hours that I had to fill waiting until it was time to meet Oz. I made my way back to the staircase, sitting atop of the stairs and looking down at the foyer. What a day. My eyes were drawn to the corridor leading off to the side. Down there was the staircase leading down into the basement. I wasn't thinking about working out, but the vote. Why was there another door like it in the library? Did the two connect as a secret passage like the bookcase? My curiosity was drawing me down into the basement before I was conscious I made the decision. The lights were on though, so I knew I wasn't alone. Hey, Dave! Orlando, what are you doing down here? Just thinking. I figured no one else would be down here, so a good place to think things over. Kinda creepy place to think things over, don't you think? After everything that's happened? I know. Orlando, are you alright? Really? Mostly. I've been thinking about yesterday a bit. It was a big day. No kidding. If you could have a do-over, would you take it? Orlando gestured over his shoulder to the door behind him. My eyes followed. Been wondering if this was a way things could do it. Maybe it's a time machine? I don't know. It could be, but I wandered around Orlando and poised to put something into the keypad, thinking, we can't change the past, can we? Afraid not, Dave. Then why ask for a do-over? Because I wouldn't mind if I could do yesterday over. Make different decision, maybe say different things. Is that how that works? Wouldn't there be two of you? If I went back in time, wouldn't it be just the day resets I'm the only one that remembers? That feels like it'd be cheating though. Why do you get to remember and no one else does? Well, gee, thanks, Dave. It just, I don't know. It feels like that sort of thing could be used for evil if it was a thing that existed. You're right. Maybe I could just get lucky that it'd go down differently. Can always hope, I guess. I looked back to the vault door, thinking back to the library with a frown. Orlando? What? This door, do you think there's anything behind it? There's gotta be, right? It's a vault. I mean, what about it just being a corridor somewhere? Chances are it just being a room, right? Why else would you call it, well, you know. I guess, I dunno. What if it was like a bomb shelter or something like that? That'd still just be a room though. Fair point. I guess I just have to, take it into my stride, right? Listen, do you want to go hang out, until dinner? Yes. What the fuck you two are doing in there? Oh, hello, Tyson. Oh, hello, Ty. Yeah, huh. Are you two being dorks in here or what? Something like that. I'm gonna work out. Was just wondering who else was down there. Orlando, you look like you need a stiff drink or a nap. Sort your shit out, man. Hey, Ty, be nice. I'm just saying it like it is, pup. Take care of him, yeah? What just happened? Tyson is going to go work out? Not that, just, you know what. Never mind, let's go veg until dinner. Wanna go lay on the grass and watch the clouds? Sure, weather is nice enough for it. With as big as the backyard was, it wasn't hard to find a nice grassy spot to just lay down and watch the clouds rolling on by. At some point, I must have fallen asleep, as Orlando was gently waking me for dinner. I entered the dining room for dinner in a daze. My mind was going a mile a minute. It's fine. They were fine. Roswell wandered over to put a plate of pasta in front of me, much like he was with the other. I thought I was hungry, but as I got closer to meeting with Oz, I found I had less and less of an appetite. I ate half and spent the rest of dinner playing with what was left with my fork. Dave, you alright? Huh? You've been spacey all dinner. This isn't... Well, okay. Maybe you're a little on brand. It's a little on brand for you. But not this much. I'm fine. Maybe just tired. I scrunch up my nose, wiping my face. I feel like it's more than just tiredness. You're not bottling something up again, are you? No. Just... I guess yesterday was still weighing on my mind. I'll be alright. I looked to Roswell and flashed him a smile, doing the same to Dean. They looked at one another before shooting me a concerned look. Well, if you're sure if you need to talk though, feel free to grab either of us, alright? I nodded to them and they backed off. Something saying to one another only once they were close enough to the kitchen that I couldn't hear them. When all was said and done, I headed back to my room. I showered, changed into a fresh set of clothes, almost as if I was dressing to impress. I was nervous. Was this what going on a date was like? My phone was in my hand constantly, checking if it was time to head on out. Oh my god, sorry. In the back of my mind, I wondered if this was a mistake after all. Was I just about to go marching to my death? Should I back out? As I lay on my bed, waiting, all I could think of was if I'd survive the night and see my friends again in the morning. Not just my friends, but also, well... I sighed out a shuddered breath, wiping the corners of my eyes. I had to steel myself. I could do it. I could do this. And then it was time. Carefully, I left my room, checking if the coast was clear. I figured I should bring my flashlight. I wasn't sure if, well, the batteries were still good. I should have asked Benson for some new ones. With how dark the library was, especially at night, I was going to need need more than just my phone's torch mode. Slipping into the conservatory, I took another look around. No one else was here. No one was wandering around. I was free to continue on undisturbed. Looking at the bookcase, I remembered Haas' warning from before, patting my pocket to make sure I had my phone. There was no telling what could happen, so I wanted to be prepared. Okay, Dave, you can do this. Time to meet Oz. The two books I needed to pull to open the passage looked a lot more obvious now that I knew which ones they were. Once I'd pulled them, I heard the click and gently pushed the bookcase aside. It was heavy and moved aside slowly, but I pushed it just enough to clear the gap and enter the dark corridor. I stood there in the dark for a couple of moments, bracing myself. It was heavy darkness, different from the one I was used to, but it felt similar in all the same. Turning on my flashlight, I wandered forward, keeping it trained low in case there was anything on the ground I could potentially trip on. As I entered the library, I looked down to the lower floor. The candles on the desk were lit, signaling that someone else had been here recently, if they weren't still here. Down the stairs, I wandered over to the desk, keeping my eyes peeled for anyone lingering just out of sight. If I was going to get jumped, I realized that I was thoroughly unprepared to fend off an attack. Hello? I flicked the beam of my flashlight around, trying to catch a glimpse of literally anyone else. As the light landed on the vault-like door, I froze, watching it as it opened with a low metallic creak. My throat was suddenly dry, making me gulp. There was a pit in my stomach growing. A lingering dread of a worry that something was about to go wrong. Roswell's joke from days ago echoing through my mind again. Oz? Is that you? A darkness lingered on the other side of the door, to the point where I wondered if my flashlight was broken. I edged forward, legs shaking, reaching towards the threshold of the door before a shadow moved, making me squeak and drop my flashlight. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Please don't kill me. Dave. I almost shrieked, keeping my eyes closed and arms up to protect my head and face. I heard something shuffling around near me before I felt the butt of my flashlight nudge me. Take your flashlight, boy. I carefully opened my eyes, taking the flashlight back and lifting up to illuminate who was speaking to me. There he is. Have a seat. I'm sure you have some questions. Are you, Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Oswin Hammond, youngest of the 3 Hammond siblings, but you may know me as Oz. I searched for the older boar's face, curious, question running through my head. Oswin wandered over to the side of the desk closest to the candles, sitting down. Oh, nice to meet you. I know, Dave. Sit down. I sat in the chair opposite of him, eyes flicking across to the candles before looking him in the eye. I'm sure you have many questions, most of which I'll answer for you soon. I'll get the obvious one out of the way first. Okay. After that, you can ask me whatever you like freely, but I'll tell you now that I'm not going to waste my time answering inane questions that are irrelevant to what's going on. Understood? Yes, sir. Furthermore, it behooves me to tell you the truth where I can. But understand that I too have my secrets. Seems fair? But what if you're the bad guy? What do you mean? Well, if you don't tell me everything, then who's to say you aren't just, making me trust you so you can kill me later? The question hung up in the air for a moment. Oswin's gaze focused on me. Boy, if I wanted you dead, you had been disposed of a long time ago. There's less sense in warning you of dangers and the like if I, myself, am the one behind the deaths of your friends. I guess that makes sense. Now, where to begin? Sorry, but can I ask something real quick? What is it? Why are you wearing a lab coat? Are you a doctor? I was. Once upon a time. Not anymore. What happened? That in and of itself is a long story. As much as I love stories, that one isn't like one of the child-friendly ones I'm so afraid of. The ones I'm so fond of. Oh. My area of expertise and specialty was pharmaceuticals and drug development testing. In other words, I developed vaccines. That sounds good. Why'd you give it up? My license was revoked when a test went bad. One of 100 subjects, 99 died. I tensed up, not wanting to ask what I was thinking. Sadly, Oswin seemed to know exactly where my head was and paled when he told me. It's ridiculously small for a proper clinical trial, but for what we were testing, it was hardly legal. Because of my arrogance, I am responsible for all 99 of those deaths. All children, too. Don't worry about it, Dave. What was the medicine you were testing? A cure-all vaccine. A miracle elixir for everything and anything. Cancer, organ failure, HIV, you name it. Probably some of my best work. But Oswin's gaze narrowed on me slightly, making me go quiet before I could continue. But it didn't work. I botched my calculations along the way and created something quite fatal instead. So, if you were a doctor, what do you do now? Nothing. Shy of enjoying children's stories and reading up on mycology, I live comfortably doing whatever I feel like, which admittedly is very little. But why do you still wear the coat then? Do you still do experiments and stuff? That seemed to hit the nerve, with Osmond's gaze narrowing slightly. Funnily enough, yes, I do. My lab is still in the house, hidden away given what's in there. Chemicals and poisons that are kept securely away from easy access. Not to mention some samples of diseases and bacteria for development purposes. I shifted uneasily in my chair. The boar opposite me had poisons and chemicals just around. The prospect of having poisons around was scary, or even having diseases on hand just ready to go. If he was telling the truth, he could infect us with something really nasty if he really wanted to. We're getting off track. Okay, sorry. Let's discuss the vault itself. The three of us made it. My older brother, may rest in peace, my older brother, may he rest in peace, myself and my older sister. But what is it? It is what its name suggests, a storing place. Although truthfully it's closer to a containment unit. So there's something inside? What's in there? Benson apparently is giving us the code to open it if we found all the medals. Ah, yes. Father's collection of medals. I am not at liberty to say what's in there, and I have no intention of telling you anyway. All I can promise is that, while not dangerous, it would be best if that door were never opened. I frowned, confused as to what he meant. As I pondered it over, I noticed him watching me think it through with a slight smirk. I pouted, mumbling to myself. Couldn't be that bad. Perhaps. Or it could be something that could end the world as we know it. So, this line of him, I call fucking bullshit on him. Because slightly later in the game, he apparently tells you what's inside the vault, and I'm not buying it. I do not trust this guy. I feel like he keeps hiding stuff from you, even after the meeting. So I legit don't trust him. Okay, but it just holds a thing, right? Correct. But then why when I use it? I was getting to that. It was never intended to just be a quarantine room, but more an attempt at something more. a collective effort to make the world better. My older siblings were more keen on designing and theorizing about it. Speculating was something more they dabbled in, when I'd much rather have something more quantifiable. But how was it going to change the world for the better? Morphic resonance. Oh my god, he said the 999 thing! Morphogenetic resonance. Oh my god, he played Zero Escape. Sorry, I had to say it. It's like literally the same thing, the morphogenic resonance. Like the ability to see into the future or into the past. Literally the same thing. The blank stare I gave him in return must have disappointed him, stopping him from getting revved up about the tangent he was about to go on. Put it another way, making a better use of the inherent survival instinct instilled in every living being on the planet. Yeah, I get it. But I haven't seen myself die just what? Orlando. He what? It looked like he was sleeping just outside the door of the vault. Dead or alive. I assumed dead, but he was just sleeping. No marks, no blood, no nothing. It was strange. Oswin's brow furrowed for a moment while he thought. Bizarre. That could have been any number of things. What was the key word? It was sentence. Yeah. And then for Benson, Oswin tensed up and rolling his shoulder briefly as I trailed off. Go on. Shot. But didn't seem right. I used the word betrayal for that one. But if that was meant to be a thing for survival instinct, why haven't I seen it myself? Perhaps I wasn't clear. The theory that I'd rely on morphic resonance, but well, you've seen how that worked. Have I been in danger? Indirectly, the concept revolves around trauma. Survivors around traumatic experiences to have different behaviors in similar situations moving forward. So while you've not been in danger as such, you've suffered through these events. But they never happened. So I do enjoy one thing about this guy is that there's some timeline shenanigans talk with him. And I do like his timeline shenanigans things. As Reginald would say, not this time around. I don't get it. Nor do I expect you to. It's a load of rubbish to me, to be frank. Bah, timelines. Alternative realities. Rubbish. I don't understand. I'm sorry. With a sigh, Oswin took a moment to collect his thoughts before he explained. The reason the Vault showed you those things, and again, consider this is all just theory and hypothesis, is because you've lived through these experiences before. In another lifetime, perhaps. Those words must have some significance to how you lived through these experiences, how those events shaped your life after they happened. Along with the sound played at the right frequency is supposed to trigger the reaction, but therein lies the problem. There seems to be a lot of problems, I think. Agreed, but I'll state the specific one. As the only person present that knows how the systems behind the Vault operates, I'm the only one that can program the passwords in. And I assure you, I've only programmed 2, neither of which I'll tell you, as they are codes for the door to open, to a door itself to open, plus something else. But what? Haas had a list of words, right? That Oswin's brow furrowed, thoughtful or maybe slightly irritated. That what? Well, we don't know where it came from, but it seemed fishy, right? That there'd be a list of words and just, I don't know. Do you know where the list came from? I shook my head quickly, making Oswin grumble and rub his nose briefly. But if you've only programmed in 2 passwords then, why did the words I used work? The question hung in the air without an answer for a while before Oswin replied, his tone quiet and uncertain. I don't know. Oh. Now, I think it's your turn, Dave. Oswin's voice was lowered, taking it on an air of seriousness. While he was very no-nonsense before, I felt the tone of the conversation get heavy from how he poised himself. I've said what I needed to say. If you have any questions, I'm all ears. I gulped, looking to Oswin in the eye. He stared right back through his glasses, watching me carefully. This was it. In the off chance I never had the chance to talk to him again, I had to make sure I asked anything that might be important. Okay. He was only going to tell me things that were relevant. All I had to do was ask. But what was considered relevant? I know a few things that he can react to, but I don't think I know everything that he can react to. So, he mentioned about his siblings. I think he can react about his sister. Wait. Oh no. Okay. No. I think the game is programmed that I'm supposed to like phrase it as as a question. Like about your sister. Yeah. Wait. Really? I thought that he was going to talk about his sister or maybe his siblings. Because I know it's relevant. Wait, what? Or maybe what? Why would I do that? If anything, I could buy you some time. Wait, what? I thought that like I could ask him about his sister at the very least. His research? Maybe? No. How about his experiments? Your profession, sure. I know I am struggling. What the frick? Maybe you should ask about things I talked about just before. Perhaps with yeah, I just did. Bruh, what? How about Benson? Whoops, I misspelled it. I misspelt Benson. Ah, there we go. Finally something. What about Benson? He's just very Benson-y. Benson-y. Really? Hey, I don't know. I haven't interacted with many butlers before. Is he what normal butlers are like? As far as I can tell, yes. Oh, very riveting. Huh. Actually, I think he does, actually, I think if I ask about why Orlando can also see visions, it might trigger something. I swear he had something to... Wait, what? Maybe just say Orlando. Okay, maybe I just forgot written everything. The passwords? The name of the game? No. Divisions? Oh, wait. Munga... No. Okay. What the frick? What the frick? Maybe if I just say the password I used? No? Oh, wait, right, being marked for death. Because he didn't mention, that when he first talked to him. Yeah, that, yeah. The whole marked for death comment I made to you was more that I can sense someone's, well, going to die. Sure, but who? You must have some kind of idea based on, well, something, right? Everyone's dying, obviously, but if I had to guess... I waited, breath held to know who I should be keeping an eye out for. You. Me? Oh, great. As if I didn't have enough to worry about as it is. Oswin shook his head, his tone level as he continued. You seem to be the center of your group, intentionally or not. A linchpin that has brought everyone here. But that was Roswell, wasn't it? His family may have organized it as a favor, but I don't mean anything by this really. I don't foresee Roswell and Saul becoming close friends by happenstance, if they're not close to begin with. Oh. Beyond you, however, let's see. Orlando is another potential target, wealthy family, and an influential one at that. Oh, because of what they do, right? Depends on what you think they do. They're criminals, right? Indeed. I can imagine what would happen if the family hair was suddenly, well, taken out of commission, shall we say? Easy. Then we just have to protect Orlando. But it might not be Orlando. Roswell is also a victim of his parents' wealth. So you just keep everyone safe just in case? That's the idea, Dave. Keep them safe. See out the month. Obtain the happily ever after. I had an idea, but I've forgotten shit. Wait, what? What I wanted to ask? Nah. Oh yeah, right, Roswell, because he's gonna be like, hey, are you related to Roswell? No. Boy. Oh, wait. Oh. Pff, shit. Maybe, like, are you related to him? Because I think sometimes, like, he was gonna respond to actual question or sentences. Ah, there we go. I was wondering if you were going to ask about that. I mean, you're both boars, so... Then, as broad strokes as to save time, there's no relation between myself and the Sinclair child, or their family as a whole, really. But, relation, mind you. The more well-off family are, at least to some extent, aware of one another. As it turns out, Roswell's father assisted me during the predicament with the trial thing? In more ways than one. He was my defense attorney. Wait, what? Wait, what? I've forgotten about that. What? Okay. So, Roswell's dad is Phoenix Wright. Gotcha. Granted, there were other contributing factors that led me walk away from that. Such as... For a brief moment, it looked like Oswin was going to explain, or at the very least follow up my question with something before he just shook his head. Guess I wasn't getting that one answered. How about the trials? Wait, how I should phrase it actually? The vaccine trial? No. Okay. I want to ask the most as I could, but if you have an idea, don't be afraid to like post like, or don't be afraid to suggest something. But yeah, I'm trying to think myself. I don't. I think he does. He does react to the vote or something. I think I've said all I can on the vote. Unless you're about to ask me if I can use it, I'm not the right one to be asking. Oh, if my siblings were able to take questions, I'd recommend them. But given they aren't, I'm out of luck, huh? Indeed. How about like the traumas? Because he does mention the traumas. No? Okay. I might be interested to type something that might be a spoiler, sort of. But I think he might react to it. I know that he can talk about either his sister or his siblings, but I don't know if putting the actual name of that sibling or sister would make him react, because her name, I think if I remember correctly, it's Florencia, I think. No, okay, he doesn't react. Okay. He doesn't react. Or maybe I just got the name wrong. How about just talking about Oz? No. Why keep hiding? No. Okay. Yeah, I know. I tried. I don't know what to ask, really. I'm thinking. I think I'm just gonna try one last thing, and I'm gonna stop asking him questions. Maybe we could come back here. I do have a save here, so if we have more questions for him, I can continue. I can come back at any time. So at the very least, I'm just at least want to ask something. Maybe about asking the gun. Yeah. Because of Benson's death. Ah, there we go. He at least reacted to that one. Guns are, how do I put this? I wouldn't say a coward's weapon, but they are efficient. What do you mean by coward's weapon? Don't they keep people safe? Shut up, Dave. They don't. It's a weapon. Cops use them, so. But so do many others. It's far too easy to get a gun these days. It's easier still to get a knife. If I was at the point where I wanted to kill someone, I feel as though I'd want the satisfaction of being up close and personal. What the frick, man? Wow. But why? Doesn't that make it easier to get caught? Potentially, but consider it as from another angle. At the point at which you're resolved to end someone's life, you're prepared to throw consequences to the wind. If need be, I would gladly go to jail if I hit that point. Not that I have any intention of getting caught, mind you, but I accept it as a possibility all the same. Okay, that's threatening. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I think for now I'm all out of questions, but I think he can react on many different subjects. But hey, I have a save here, so if we have more questions, we can come back here. I frowned, thinking. Done already? I think so, yeah. Oswin got up from his side of the desk, supporting his weight on it as he did so. I hope tonight was informative. There was a sense of emptiness that accompanied his comment, eyes lingering on me while I got up. It was, yeah. Then good. He made to walk away, and I called out, "Wait, what is it? What happens now?" "You go to bed." "And you?" "I have some calculations I need to run. I need something I need to test. But hopefully you'll sleep soundly enough despite what we talked about tonight." "I should, sure. But what about us? Will we meet again? Will we talk again?" "If you believe that is needed, we can arrange something for a few days from now. Let me think. 3 days. Give me 3 days and we'll reconvene here. Same time, same place." "To talk again?" "No. By then I should be able to show you something. Something in my lab, assuming you were interested." "But would that help? Help us figure out what's going on?" "Not necessarily, but you can never go wrong with some information. So in 3 days, meet me here and I'll show you the lab." "All right." Oswin wandered over to the door, stepping through it before turning around to look at me once more. With a nod, he closed the heavy door and clicked it shut, almost with the sound of a mechanism ensuring it stayed that way. For me, I wandered back upstairs to the corridor, the meeting playing over in my head, my mind. Bleh. Had I said everything I needed to? Was everything put away at least for the time being? I hoped that, if anything, there was going to be some breathing room and try to enjoy my time with my friends. I stopped in the darkness, smelling something. My nose scrunched up, trying to remember where I'd placed that smell. It wasn't one I associated with danger, so there was that, but definitely not one that I was expecting to be smelling here. And now, of all times, I froze, emerging from the corridor right into Sal, standing in the middle of the conservatory. Something didn't seem right about this. Something felt off. "Sal, are you okay?" I looked behind me quickly, closing the bookcase while keeping an eye on Sal. It was odd. He wasn't responding to anything. Instead, just standing there, just staring at me. "Sal, what are you doing?" "I can explain about the bookcase. I gestured over to the now concealed passage, expecting him to have said something about it by now. Maybe you should just go to bed?" "Go to bed. Right. Bed." I watched as Sal wandered off, leaving the room and bumping into the door frame on the way. He looked out of it, and I wondered why he wasn't asleep. Still, of all the odd things that have been happening of late, at least he wasn't brandishing a weapon around. I made it back into my room and neatly collapsed on my bed, kicking off my shorts, peeling off my shirt, and laying on my back. Any other night, I probably would have indulged in relieving myself of some sort of this pent up stress, but instead I laid there with my there with my thoughts. I'm bad with reading today. Sorry. With phone still in hand, I lifted up to my face so I could scroll through my messages. Each one of these record of time where I didn't have time to worry about the person on the receiving end dying. My finger paused over one message chain, hesitating before clicking on it. There was so many messages, all sent by me, still waiting for a reply. I do I kind of do the same thing sometimes. I scrolled up, not bothering to read them a bit before I backed out. Where I knew what all of them said, almost like a personal point. My God, I'm bad with reading. Almost like a journal of the points of my life, where I just needed to let someone know something was up. It couldn't be Tyson or really anyone. These were private things. I dialed my voicemail, the options memorized from having it done so many times before. Holding my phone up to my ear, I closed my eyes, breath catching in my chest. There was a brief there was always that brief delay before the message started, to the point that I could count the seconds from when the person on the other side realized the beep had sounded. Oh. There was a brief smirk on my face as the familiar voice came through. Guess I missed you, huh, sport? There was his laugh, my laugh, our laugh. That nervous hyena chuckle that when we'd been caught off guard by something. Oh well, figured I'd just check in on how things are going. You going all right, champ? Oh, right. This is just a message, isn't it? He laughed again. Despite the tears welling up, I laughed along with him, much like I'd done every time in the past when listening to this message. Well, best gotta get back to work. Rest up and I'll see you when you wake up, alright? I love you, son. My reply was halfway out of my mouth before the message ended, the rest of the reply trailing off into silence to be replaced with my quiet sobs. My arm went limp and let the phone fall away from my head. I'll see him when I wake up. My eyelids drooped a little, and I breathed it out, wiping the corner of my eyes and yawning. When I wake up. I fell asleep soon after, exhausted. I should have at least gotten under the covers or something, but by the time I realized, it was already morning. I opened my eyes slowly, waking right where I fell asleep. My phone, now dead, was still in my hand, and I flexed my grip around it before setting it on the bedside table. Quietly, I looked around my room, searching it, wondering if by some miracle that I was somewhere else. It wasn't always this bad. Some days were easier than others, for sure. This was for sure a day where I just wanted to crawl back into bed and get some sleep. I almost scrambled under the covers and laid my head down, eyes still closed. Sleep found me quick again, but it only felt like minutes before I awoke to someone coming into my room. The footsteps were slow and careful, building confidence as they got closer. Hey, wakey, wakey. I groaned, cuddling into the sheets before smelling the familiar scent of coffee. Come on, you've slept long enough. I even brought you coffee. Okay, fine, I'm awake. With a sigh, I sat up, taking the coffee from Orlando as he beamed at me with pride. You must have been tired. Yeah. Or something's wrong. Orlando edged closer, trying to find my gaze, and I looked around, avoiding his. Something is wrong, but his eyes looked to my phone on my side table, then back to me, then to my phone. Did something happen? No, nothing happened, just a restless night. Orlando reached out and cupped my cheek, rubbing a thumb just under my eyes as if preemptively wiping away a tear. You're sure? I felt my bottom lip quiver. My next intake of air was rattled breath on the border of being enough to show that I was about to break down and start crying, but I kept it in. Did someone hurt you? Did someone say something? If Tyson did something, I'll go do something. No, Ty didn't do anything. Oh, well, Dean, maybe? He didn't. Unless... No, just what? Stress, I guess. Everything that's been going on has been getting to me. I feel like I'm going crazy at times. Part of me thinks I'm being led around by someone else. Part of me thinks that I'm going to screw up and this whole thing with the vault just... No, that's not all. You're suppressing it again. For some reason. I looked back down to the mug I held in both hands, letting the scent of the brew waft into my nose. I don't want to sound dramatic, but I'm worried about you, Dave. Bottling this sort of thing up, it'll kill you. Flinching only for a moment, I brought my gaze up again. I don't. Gingerly, Orlando took the coffee from me and set it down on the bedside table. Once it was safely out of the way, he got up on the bed to join me. You can lean on me, Dave. No dying on me, okay? The next thing he did was bring me in close, resting my head against his chest. Both his warmth and steady heartbeat was calming, accented by that lingering cinnamon scent he carried. I'll keep you safe. You can depend on me. Just let it out. I shook, teetering on the edge of crying, but it just wouldn't come. Orlando knew most of what had gone on, so there was no point of hiding it. But just stepping over that threshold was just something I couldn't bring myself to do. He stroked the back of my head slowly, and I sighed out a breath. This was nice for sure, something I could get used to. Maybe I already was to a certain extent, physically especially with how physically close we found ourselves, at least behind the closed doors. My eyes widened as I realized the implication, wondering if there was something more to Orlando's hugs and the like, given he seemed to always be the one initiating. I'd always just assumed he was overly friendly. Who was I to turn away a living heater? But much to my shame, I feel like I must have missed the cue somewhere along the way. Okay, well, I'll let you get dressed. You probably want your space for a bit now anyway. Wait, what? I confidently claim that the best friend title, Dave. I figure you're going to want to sit in your room for a bit, or maybe take a walk and let things sort of mellow. But if it gets too much, come and find me and we can do something. Talk things out if you think that'll help. Orlando moved away, edging towards the door. With one final smile, he left my room, closing the door behind him gently. I love Orlando so much. He's just a sweetie. I love him. Dressed as ready as I could be, I made my way downstairs. Oh, good morning, Benson. Good morning. Sorry, cheese? There was something extra stiff with how Benson was standing this morning, and he was eyeing me carefully. Is everything okay? I believe so. How did the last night fare? Oh, I looked around, checking to see if there was anyone else nearby listening in. Seemed like only Benson and I were in the foyer. Oz? Indeed. Oh, it went alright, I guess? Good. Well, at least I hope so. What do you mean? As it turns out, I've been given leave for vacation of my own, effective immediately. That's great. Benson's stern expression immediately told me that perhaps it wasn't so great as I thought. It wasn't so much a request as an order, Master Dave. Oh. I'm on my way to pack a suitcase right now, actually. Within the hour, I'll be well on my way. How long's your vacation then? Until I'm asked to return. With a sigh, Benson teased the end of his mustache, looking away thoughtful. I suppose this might be a little odd for you, but know that the master of the house rarely makes such requests. I can only fathom a guess as to why he's made it to. He refused to elaborate when I was told this morning. Oh. The two of us looking at one another before Benson looked away again, shaking his head. No matter. I suppose that whatever is to happen is to happen. I wish you the best of luck, Master Dave. Wait, is there anything you can do before you leave? Any last advice? Benson looked me over, stoic before looking me in the eye and speaking with a measured, serious tone. Survive. As best as you can. There was something chilling about how he said that, so much as so that as he stepped around me out of sight, I was frozen on the spot. Survive? I was meant to just survive? I found myself looking around an empty room again, and I scratched my head as I took a whiff of the air. I could still smell the lingering scent of toast along with coffee. I wandered to the other side of the room, following the scent. By the time I was near the door leading to the kitchen, I found myself looking down, skirting around a particular spot on the floor that looked somewhat familiar. Once again, I was alone, and this time sighed out without restraint. As bad as it was, I was half expecting Orlando to be in here. They just had to be somewhere around to be elsewhere in the house, right? The smell of toast was stronger in here, but I didn't want toast. Whenever I thought of my dad, I thought back of the breakfast that we had, that he made for the two of us when Mom was at work or otherwise just not around. That was usually hard-boiled eggs, fruit, sometimes waffles if burnt ones. Of the options available, I just grabbed a banana. Part of me wondered what Dean would have said if he saw me eating this. Probably like, oh, I know something else you could put in your mouth at this. Okay. Of course. I shook my head, a smile forming. The consistency was nice, if anything. Pacing the kitchen with my banana, I ate bite after bite, thinking things over. Was this what it was like to be a cop? Figuring things out, except that you were potentially in risk of dying in line of duty? I left the kitchen and found myself outside. Stretching, I felt my spine pop and joints loosen. The plan was to go for a walk, but I didn't really know where I was going. The front yard was expensive. The driveway leading further down out of the side beyond the trees. Maybe following it towards the main road would be an idea, in case we needed to escape. Burying my hands in my pockets, I started to the slow stroll towards the trees and down the driveway. It was quiet. Even the sound of insects and birds were muted, almost as if there was this silence that draped over the place. Light filtered down from the canopy above, lighting my way down the winding driveway. Everything looked the same, and around each turn just seemed to be more driveway. If I had my phone on me, I would have been able to check how long I'd been walking, but it felt like a solid hour with no headway. With a sigh, I looked back. The way I've been looking just the same as what laid in front of me. Taking a load off on the side of the driveway, I let my mind wander. It'd been about a year since it happened. Some days were better than the others, but even after this long, I refused to believe that it happened at all. Orlando kept reminding me to accept it and try to move on, and how that because of it I've withdrawn. But really, what does he know? None of them, at least as far as I could tell, knew what it was like, which is probably why this whole ordeal with Oswin was putting me at odds. I'd told the others that he was still around, but they didn't have the burden to supposedly being some chosen one that managed to see death before it could happen. At least until I could figure things out, I was in this by myself. Remember Orlando? He is kind of in this as well. Grumbling as I stood back up, shooting a look down the driveway. I could leave now, put all of this behind me, and just run. Looking back at the way I'd come, I grimaced. Running would maybe keep me safe, but what about the others? If I wasn't around to stop them from dying, would it just keep happening? The stress was making me tug at my fur, a habit that I picked up from Tyson the way he was upset when he was upset. Why me? Groaning, I started to head back to the mansion, shoulders slumped and dragging my feet. As I trudged back to the way I came, I wondered what Roswell's take on this would be. He always had an interesting way of seeing the world, and maybe being a boar would make it easier to have a read on Oswin. I smirked, the in-joke flashing to the forefront of my mind. With how often we said racist to one another, I was starting to wonder where the actual line was drawn. By the time I reached the front of the house, I was tired again. Be it the rough night or the walk, I wasn't sure which. Either way, I was ready for something to eat, or at the very least another chance to sit down. My hand went to my pocket to check my phone, patting it down before realizing I'd left it up in my room to charge. Was it lunchtime? I wanted it to be. I wandered back inside and heard people nearby. After having missed them for breakfast, I was eager to see what they were up to. As I entered the room, I saw a heated discussion, led by Haas between the two others he was nearby. None of them seemed to pay me any mind as I entered. By comparison, though, the others were in a pause with in their conversation, with Orlando looking anywhere but the other two he was sitting near. "Oh, Dave, perfect timing!" Perfect timing for what? I eased closer carefully, wondering what I was about to get wrapped up into. "To tell these two off. They're being mean." "Oh. Guys, being mean is bad." "We're not being mean. We're just having a little fun is all. Oh, well, I like fun. Fun is good. Don't fall for it! I don't understand. What's wrong with what we were saying? If you have stuff in your beard, someone should tell you. Orlando grumbled to himself, shaking his head before resigning to the point. Oh, by the way, what's time? My phone's dead. It's dead? You didn't charge it while you were sleeping? Oh, you forgot. No, I didn't forget, I just, So, lunch. It's lunchtime, right? Yeah, I made some sandwiches earlier. Just to get it out of the way. Hold on, have you all eaten? For the most part. We looked around for you, but figured you couldn't have gone far. But what if I had been killed? I snapped out suddenly, causing the three of them to look quickly at one another before facing me. Feeling foolish, I fell into the nearest chair and buried my face in my hands. So, I'm going to go bring you your lunch. And I'll help. Yeah, you could probably use some coffee. Roswell and Orlando scurried off quickly, leaving me with Saul. He eyed me carefully before settling back down enough to say something, voice brought down to a hushed tone. Are you okay? I groaned, rubbing my face. I'm fine, just still. I gestured, hands in the air, trying to wave off my own worries and, by extension, Saul's. It seems to work enough that Saul settled back into his chair without a fuss. My outburst had brought the other three over, seemingly done with their conversation for the time being. Did I hear you correctly, Dave? I kept my eyes averted, looking towards the door to the kitchen, trying to just be eager to get my lunch. You did. Can you blame him, though? How are you feeling outside of that? And where do you disappear to? Have an adventure? I just decided to wander off around for a bit. After I got up, I had a bite to eat and figured I'd walk down the driveway and see what I missed when we arrived. Anything good? Not really. There really wasn't much between here and the main road from memory, but that was some long drive away. You're telling me? I didn't even make it to the main road. No surprise, but explains why you were missing. Maybe just let us know where exactly you're going next time. Okay, sorry. A couple of us were worried. Good thing you stuck to a path though, but as Haas said, try to let someone know where you're going next time. I rolled my eyes. I understood why I might have been coddled like this, but no one really kicked up a fuss about Roswell heading into the forest by himself. Okay, I promise the next time I go wandering I'll let someone know which direction I go in. But what about you guys? Talking about when I arrived, seemed intense. Dean looked between Tyson and Huss, taking a step back. Don't worry about it, it wasn't important. Not important? I'll have you know that it's very important. What is important? Some show Huss wants me to watch. Apparently it's some guys pose at each other and all have the same name. They don't all have the same name. You haven't even seen an episode, but you might still like it. What anime is that supposed to be? I don't even know what anime would have people with the same name. I haven't watched that many anime, so I don't know. And what about makes you think stopping time and dropping road rollers on people makes for a good show? Wait, what? Stopping time. Oh. It's really JoJo? Really? Oh my god. Like, whatever, it sounds dumb. Bro's dissing JoJo. It's like, what did you just say? Did you just say that JoJo is a dumb anime? I'm going to riot. Oh, if this is the show I'm thinking about, it has a bunch of punching too. Punching, huh? Really? What's that? That's what sells it for you? Well, it makes sense that he'd been more sold on that. Hey, I've not watched any of your cartoons before. Cut me some slack. Anime. It's anime, you fucking buffoon. It's not cartoons, you idiot. Whatever, same thing. Haas' eyes bulged for a second before Dean chimed in, trying to curb the conversation. Did you fucking say a cartoon? Also, I hope it wasn't too loud. So, Dave, what were you planning on doing today? I looked between Haas and Tyson before addressing to Dean. Also, I think sorry if that... Okay, it wasn't that loud. Good. I think I'm just going to keep my options open for now. Fair enough. If you want some company though, feel free to come bother me. Otherwise, I'll probably just tag along with these two and check this with this cartoon. Ignoring the fact that it's not a cartoon, I wouldn't have picked you to be interested, Dean. What? I'm allowed to try new things, right? At least I won't be suffering alone with this. Oh my god. I looked back over to the door leading to the kitchen just as Roswell and Rolando were emerging from it. Roswell had a mug and Orlando had a plate stacked with a couple of sandwiches. I wandered away from the other three towards them, seemingly joined by Saul on my way over. 1 coffee! And 2 sandwiches! I felt a hand on my shoulder, looking to Sal, who joined the conversation with a comment on his own. And 3 of us. Aw, that's sweet. Roswell counted us off with his bare hands, staring down at his count of 4, confused. Nah, he's trying, okay? Sal is trying. So what you guys are doing the rest of the day? Looks like the others are off to go watch some anime. Oh yeah, what are they watching? Maybe we should all go. Given Dean's reaction, I don't think it's something we're all going to enjoy. Haas picked out something too. I don't know actually. But if I said road roller... Oh, bold move on his part. Is it? I haven't watched JoJo myself. I know like the memes, like the Zawardo, but like I don't know if the show is actually good or if it's actually, you know, I don't know. Somehow I think that's either going to go very well or very poorly, depending. Okay. Is it that bad? Well, if I remember correctly, in the first scene of the first episode, well... What? Probably better you don't know, Sal. Is this true? There's something about the first episode that has something... What am I missing? What the frick? Is this for real? And also, yes, I said for real, I don't care. But really? What the frick happened in JoJo? Jeez. Just, well, at least we know that's off the table as a joint activity. I'm surprised. Yeah, but hey, while they're doing that, you guys must have something in mind, right? I was considering a swim, but now I'm not too sure. I still like that lesson, if that's alright. I'm happy to give you that lesson still. Assuming that's still comfortable for you, just not today. Oh, alright. I just need to clear my head of a few things. Well, why don't we play a board game or something to pass the time? No point doing, no point the others doing something when we could also do, when we could also do something. Sure, I'm down for a board game. Want to join us? You're welcome to if you're not doing anything. Sure, I'm down to play for a bit. I don't think I want to be wandering around for any more after my walk anyway. How do you feel about Monopoly? No, it's gonna take forever. The game is never going to end. That is a terrible suggestion, Orlando. It's cool. It's never going to end. Or clue? It's Cullen and Buster's in the bathroom with a knife. Scrabble. I turned my attention to my sandwiches, seemingly two different kinds. The first one looked to be something with chicken, lettuce, and mayonnaise, and looked like it has cheese on it too. The second was one I was more keen on, egg salad. I just hoped it tasted good, but I had faith that if Orlando made it, he wouldn't do me wrong. There was nothing like having a good meal, something I was reminded of while I was halfway through my first sandwich. Less cranky, less stressed. Who knew that having a decent feed would make you feel better both physically and mentally? By the time I downed the second one, it looked like everyone was ready to start heading off, go do their thing. I took my mug and plate into the kitchen, putting it in the sink to be washed. It seemed like the other dishes were still there, so I felt less bad at just adding it to the pile. Still, if Benson was heading off, it seems unlikely that he'd do the dishes before leaving, especially if he was going on vacation. The others must have already decided on who was going to do the dishes in that case, unless they didn't know. I wandered back into the dining room to see Roswell and Tyson facing one another. Quickly, I looked to the others, who seemed to be swapping looks just as confused as I was. Oh no. Please tell me it's not gonna be another fight. What do you want? Roswell seemed to be readying to say something, his brow furrowed as he thought things through. Please don't fight again. Part of me hoped that he wasn't about to pick a fight, as unlikely as that seemed. While everyone is here, I want to apologize. Oh. For what? You know what for. Tyson looked Russell over, eyes narrowing only slightly before he nodded to the boar. Alright. Everyone seemed to be giving Roswell the floor to speak, just as well. I'm not going to lie, you were the last person I wanted to come onto this trip with us. You were an asshole to us when we were younger. I hated you for that. This is a great apology so far. I'm getting there. It's that very attitude that frustrates me. How can Dave move on from that? What does he even see in you? Okay, please stop. Okay, you're going to escalate things, but that doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Me not being able to move on shouldn't and doesn't invalidate any improvements you've made to yourself in the time I wasn't around. So by extension, me taking it out on you, taking pot shots when I had no right to, put me in the wrong, no matter the reason. So, I'm sorry. Tyson sighed, scratching his neck. Look, I get it. I do. Didn't think you had the balls, to be honest, but I'm glad you went to vent. You got to vent, whatever it was. But sure, apology accepted. Well, I'm at it. I'm sorry too. Not that it'd make up for it, but that's how it goes. Really? Look, Getting invited to this thing was great of Dave to do, if, you know, a dick move on his part. Everyone in the room looked at me, and I stared back at Tyson, uncertain of what he meant. What did I do? Well, I wasn't going to say this, but it seemed like a jerk move to invite Tyson along without checking with us. Right. It seemed like like something you'd want to run by everyone first. Sorry, Dave, but I knew you were going to invite Tyson. Yeah. Wait, he knew it? I'm sorry too. Why are you sorry, Sal? You do something wrong. You do something wrong too? Not that I know of, but it seems to be what everyone is doing. Oh, if he knew it. Okay. I feel like Sal is a bit of a himbo because sometimes he's just like, sometimes he's saying things, but he doesn't realize the implication of what he's saying, or he's not fully understanding the situation. I feel like Sal is a bit of a himbo. Well, hey, no need to apologize if you've done nothing wrong. True. True. But Dave, why didn't you check in with everyone? I mean, he's a quiet guy. I would say like Sal is silent but with a heart of gold, basically. Yeah, Dave. I think that's fair enough to fair question to be asking. You think everyone would have said no? Well, kinda, yeah. Then why? I looked to Tyson, who had his attention on me too. He's my friend. And that's enough, pup. It's not all on him. I knew what the go was. I accepted anyway, so there's that. Okay, well, I'm sorry, but... No buts. You own it up to it like a man. I whined, hanging my head. It was my fault. I should have checked. I don't know, honestly. Sure, just... Again. Roswell? Orlando? I'm sorry. Especially to you two, I should have, checked. This vacation was meant to be for us, all of us. So it would have been nice to know who you decided to invite. But I can't hold it against you. It's not like I bothered to check. Would you feel the need to check, Roswell? No, probably not. The upside, though, at least from my end, is that I've noticed a change. I didn't really want to make a big deal about it, but I've also been keeping my distance. But if you're sorry about not checking with us, if you're not sorry about not checking with us first, Dave, I forgive you. What sort of friend would I be if I held that against you and let it sour the vacation? Right, ditto. All this forgiven. Well, not everything, but we're well on our way. At least as far as you and me, Dave, we're good. And for Tyson? I'm willing to keep a more open mind. Not necessarily about a clean slate, but only one way forward. The same here. But, are we allowed to call each other out on behavior and decisions? To avoid incidents like a couple of days ago. I think that's fair, right? That extends to everyone, right? Of course. There were rumbles of agreements from everyone. With the apologies out of the way now, we split up. We split up for a couple of minutes to round up some games. With the rec room being taken up with the others watching TV, we figured we'd take another room just so we weren't talking over their show. Oh, Sal, what did you grab? I don't know. I just grabbed one at random from the shelf. What shelf? The one in the rec room. the others were talking about what to watch, so I went and took one before they could notice. He held out a box in his hands, rattling it gently as he did so. Boggle? Does that count as a board game? Not really, but I know how to play this one. You roll the dice in the box and make words with the letters. Oh, neat, I guess. I don't know how well I'd go with something like that. I could go grab another one. No need, Sal. We have alternatives. Yeah, check it out. The other two flashed boxes of their own. I figured that we're in a mansion. I grabbed Clue. Isn't that a little bit insensitive? What? No, I like this game. What's wrong with this one? I felt the eyes fall on me, making me sigh out. Sure, the idea of a murder in the mansion was a little too close to home, but I hadn't thought anything of it, given it was just a game. I grabbed Mousetrap. Oh, damn! That's been a while since I haven't heard that game. I remember, like, my Mousetrap is all about like a Rudenberg contraption that you have to assemble through as you continue going forward in the board. It was interesting to see it play out. Oh, I've played that before. I like putting all the pieces together when you set it up. You mean while you play, right? No. You set up all the pieces before you can play, right? No. Is the game all that complicated? I haven't played it before. You put together a little machine and try to not get caught. I think it's kind of neat, but I think the copy I had was missing a few parts. Oh, well, where does this leave us? You grab Boggle, Dave? Because if this is a contest of words, prepare to lose. I know a bunch of words that y'all shan't know. I know weird words. Haha. Oh no, this was Saul's. Roswell turned to Sal suddenly, grin unwavering. You dare challenge me to a game of words, Sal? I shall hit you with the hippo. But wait, what is the weird the long ass word of the fear of long words? Hippo something. It's very long. Oh, okay. I looked to Orlando, confused. I admit, I don't expect you to keep up, but let's try an easy one. What's an... what? Oenophile, Sal. What the frick? What the frick? Without even thinking about it, Sal replied. That's a lover of wine. Wait, what? Really? Okay, perhaps that was too easy. I didn't even knew about that one. How about... Wait, what the how do you pronounce that? How do you pronounce that? Chthonic? Or Shatonic? Bless you. I didn't sneeze. Anything that relates to the underworld. Or just underground things depending on how you're using it. Damn, Saul is smarter than I thought. I think his quick replies had stunned Roswell. Perhaps he'd just not expected to come from Saul of all people. What's the matter? You can't keep up with me, huh? I honestly didn't imagine your vocabulary was so broad. You barely talk. Just because I don't talk doesn't mean I don't know words. I guess not. Sorry, I just assumed wrong. I don't mind. If you started giving me advice, then we might have had some issues. Anyway, what did you bring, Dave? Anything good? Oh, I just had a pack of Uno cards in my bag, so I grabbed that. Oh, that's a classic. So, the only actual board games are Clue and Mousetrap? I'm happy to play Uno. I know how to play that. And no offense, I'd much rather play Uno than Clue, knowing how Sal's interpreted how mousetraps work. Roswell, seemingly still awestruck by what Sal came out with, sat down on the floor cross-legged and Sal joined him. Orlando sat the games we'd collected off the side and joined them on the floor. I shuffled the cards and took a seat, dealing them out. To my left was Roswell, to my right Orlando, and Sal sat across from me. Play proceeds from to the left of the dealer, right? Which means I go first. He placed a card down, passing his turn to Sal. Skip. What you mean, skip? Skip. I skip you. So, that's my turn, right? Reverse? Wait, no, now you're skipping me! Oh no. Draw 2. Draw 2 as well. Wait, what? Are we playing with those rules? I'm fairly certain you can't do that. That's how we played at home, I think. But those aren't the rules. And I don't really want to be picking up 4 cards, so sorry, 2. Sorry, Dave. Draw 2. Wait, what? Now I have to draw 6? I sucked it up and drew more cards as Orlando placed another card down. Wow. Dave is just getting bullied. We went around a few times before it was clear that someone was about to win. Uno. Roswell placed a card down, flashing his last card in hand. What it was, I wasn't sure, but I caught that it was red. He's cheating. Uno. No. Uno. Sal's poker face was strong. I don't know what he had remaining as he placed his last card down. Uno. My god, jeez. Same for Orlando. I looked at the cards in my hand, and no matter what I played, it seemed as though the game was probably going to be over by the time my turn rolled around again. I could play a wild card and keep the color red, meaning Roswell would win. Alternatively, I could skip Roswell and see if Sal had something to play. Or I could reverse it back to Orlando and hand him the victory. Well, they are playing Uno. My brow furrowed as I looked over my cards, thinking over. Oh damn. I hope that everything is alright. Come on, Dave. It's your turn. You're gonna totally lose this. So close. And I was a bit too slow, I guess. Oh well. I looked at each of them in turn before deciding. I'm going to make Orlando win. Reverse. I placed the card down, looking to Orlando. I could barely sit still, it seems, and it was hardly a surprise. Yes, perfect. You can't be serious. Yep, I win. Orlando slammed his final card, also a reverse card, just in a different color. Well done. Yeah, good game. That was close. Except for Dave. Dave had like a bajillion cards in his hands. What a loser. I gathered up all the cards and shuffled, only noticing halfway through that Roswell had his hand out of the deck. My turn to deal, Dave. We played game after game, each one seemingly revealing that none of us had the same understanding of what the rules were. At some point, I remember looking behind me to see Ty and Dean walking by and talking about something, but I didn't catch the details of the conversation. I must have been zoning out, as the next thing I knew, Orlando was nudging me with the deck of cards. To Dave, it's your turn to shuffle. Oh, sorry. I guess I must have been daydreaming. About what? Anything good? I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired. Is it time for a break? I wouldn't mind one. Then let's have a break. Give us a chance to get a drink and maybe do something else for a bit. That sounds like less a break and more like just stopping entirely. Oh, well, I guess it does. Not that it's a bad thing. Might not be a bad idea to check in with the others anyway. Well, if it's a break we're doing, I think we might head down to the kitchen for a snack. In that case, I might head downstairs too. Maybe go sit outside for a bit. We headed downstairs, and I noticed that without breaking stride, Orlando and Roswell split off into in different directions. After glancing between the two, I followed Orlando outside. The weather seemed nice enough, mostly clear. The sun was out. Without it being too warm. If anything, it was a little bit windy, but it was a gentle sort of breeze that seemed to perpetually run by us. Orlando, with his hands in his pockets, wandered away from the house towards the trees. I wasn't sure if he was aware that I was behind him or not, but I followed all the same. Eventually, we came across a clearing, and Orlando sat himself down before laying back on the grass with a sigh. Coming? Oh, right. I followed suit, laying down next to him and looking up at the canopy above. It's nights out here, huh? Under the trees? Just out of the city, away from everything. The breeze continued to blow past us, and for a brief moment I forgot about everything happening back at the mansion. So, how was your walk? It was fine, I guess. I looked over to Orlando, seeing him troubled and fiddling with his hands. What's wrong? Well, it's alright if I call you out on something, right? Like, I'm not a jerk for doing it. Depends. With a sigh, Orlando looked across to me before dipping his gaze away. To be honest, you're stressing me out a bit. Sure, the thing with the vault, and seeing that we've seen is a good enough reason, but you coming out with potentially being killed after your walk, well, normally it'd be me doing the nervous chuckle, but maybe I'd rubbed off on Orlando with how he let one loose, scratching his neck. You say that you could have been killed, but you went off on your own anyway, right? You seem to know that I was planning, what I was planning this morning, though. Yeah, and what am I supposed to do? Tell you to be a sad sack in bed? Well, no. Look, I'm your best friend, Dave. I know you. I saw how giddy you got when Dean first asked you out. I saw how distraught you got when you thought you'd forgotten my birthday. And now, I'm just worried that you're going to shut down like you did when... He glanced at me, not wanting to say it. When my dad died? Right. I haven't forgiven myself for not being more proactive in trying to make you feel better. But to be honest, after you were quiet after a week just sitting in the corner, I was scared. It was bad enough that I couldn't get to the funeral, Dave. And now I just let him rant, working himself up to tears. I wasn't sure if he was more worried about me or disappointed with himself. Honestly, just maybe comfort. Let me say first. But honestly, I think holding his hand is better. I carefully reached down and took his hand in mine, giving it a gentle squeeze. Dave, I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. Sorry. I'm just worried that I'm going to lose you. Lose me? Right. You were such a happy guy. That was the guy that that I, that you, what? Orlando growled, clutching head in his hands. I care about you. I care about you a whole lot. His voice dropped lower, almost to a terrified whisper, turning his head to look at me proper. Dave? Yeah? You're a treasure to me. A treasure that I like seeing shine and sparkle. More than any other gemstone in the family vault. More than any bar of gold I've gotten to polish. Losing you is terrifying. You see me as a treasure? Yeah, not like you're an object, just something I want to keep safe. Call it dragon instincts kicking in. I think it's my version of Dean tending to flowers, I guess. If I smother you, that's bad, but look out and care for you? Absolutely. Orlando. My thoughts were swimming, a warm feeling welling up in my chest. It was flattering for sure, but maybe it was something more than that. And if that means I need to teach you what I know about landing a man, then I'll do it. Really, I don't mind. Wait, what? Yeah, you know, with you and Dean. Oh, right. What's wrong? Nothing, just... I shook my head, the feeling now gone. Or maybe not gone, but buried for the time being. You're that worried about me? Ever since I messed around with the vault, I guess my senses have been in overdrive. It's kind of the same as me, really. Seen enough from that thing for a lifetime. You're braver than me. I stopped after seeing just you, but you went back for a second helping. And I don't even know why. Orlando rubbed his neck, shooting at me a glance before looking away. He was troubled by something, and I was growing more curious. Orlando, what did you type into the vault? The moment I stopped talking, he slowly turned to look to me, unimpressed. If you're asking what I think you're asking, I am. I want to know. I'm not telling you. End of story. But what about what you saw? I'm not telling you that either. But why? How can I keep myself safe if I don't know what's dangerous? Because I'll keep you safe. You don't need to worry. So what? You're going to keep watch over me every second of every day? No, I guess not. So, I told you what I saw. What can't you tell me? Orlando brought a hand up to his mouth as he thought, brow furrowed. His gaze was drawn elsewhere, almost as if he was trying to focus. When he spoke, his voice was quiet but level, slowed as if he was readying himself for what he was about to say. All right. It's burned into my mind so I can remember. Was it bad? You said hanging by the rafters, so... No, I don't think it was suicide. Not with how you were looking. How was I looking? If not a noose, then... I could barely hear what he came out with next, his voice cracking and trembling. Meat hook. Right through. You know. He pointed to his neck, shuddering. I found myself paling at the thought, too. It was one thing to assume it was a noose, but a meat hook? Remembering when sometimes Dad would go to a butcher and bring me along. with big hunks of meat suspended from the ceilings. Sausages, too. Mentally putting myself in place of anything I remembered from that shop made me whimper softly. My eyes darted around, wondering if I'd just misheard him. Meat hook? It was gross and scary. But there is an upside. About the meat hook? Kinda. I've been looking around the mansion for any room that looks similar, or even a meat hook and nothing. So maybe we're safe? What did a room look like? Oh, well, old, run down. I almost would have guessed it'd be somewhere in the basement with how dirty it was. But no luck. No luck. Which is a good thing, right? So long as I don't find a room like that, we should be in the clear. But please, maybe don't go wandering off by yourself. I'll try to remember. If you're going to keep up a fuss about everyone sticking together, and don't think about for a second that I wasn't the reason you wanted to do the pumpkin carving, then at least don't be a hypocrite about it. I chuckled, nervous, grimacing upwards while I kept my gaze away from Orlando's judging stare. Okay, fine, I promise. But what word was it anyway? The one I used for you didn't work when you typed it in, so no harm in telling me, right? Well, I suppose given that there is no harm in it. Still, if it does work, just don't freak out, alright? Okay. Sacrifice. Sacrifice? Why that? I was thinking along the lines of what sort of things you need to give up to get something of value. I tried the obvious first, but when I thought about it in gaming terms, well... He sighed out, reaching up above and flicking his fingers, his tone shifting towards sadness. Then I blacked out, saw that, and when I came to, I was laying on the floor with the start of a headache. Did you hit your head? No, I don't think so. It was more like I've been listening to music too loudly. Only lasted a little bit, a minute at most, then it was gone. Have you gone back since? I shook my head, shifting uncomfortably on the grass. Not since Benson. Why? I've snuck back a couple times, only to try one word at a time, but nothing. Okay, but why? If you were so uncomfortable the first time, what made you go back? Sometimes the scariest thing is not knowing. It's why all the stuff about Roswell is into is so creepy. Is it real? Is it not? You take less issue with them being scary than just being real? If I knew that ghosts were real, I'd, maybe try talking to my ancestors. They might know what to do. Or if demons were real, I know what to prioritize as far as keeping myself and others safe, right? I guess so. A gun or knife, it doesn't matter, but a weapon used without purpose and against a foe you know nothing about is a fool's errand. It'd be like, I don't know, attacking a werewolf with just a butter knife. I think I remember Roswell mentioning you need silver for that. I see. I guess that makes sense, but can I ask you something? Anything. You're not scared of Ty because of werewolf, right? Are you? No? Okay, maybe a little bit. Is that silly? Roswell put the idea into my head one day. I laughed, grinning broadly. Ty doesn't get any crankier than I do if I don't get my coffee, promise. If you say so. He trailed off, leaving us in silence for a moment. That moment stretched into minutes before Orlando spoke again, his voice soft and calm. Hey, Dave. What? I'm glad we're friends. He took my hand in his, a peaceful smile on his face. We lay like that for a while, just enjoying each other's company. Occasionally, I looked over to see him either looking up at the leaves and watching them sway, or his eyes closed as if resting. Eventually, the wind started to grow cold as it got closer to dinner time. While it wasn't overly late, we didn't want to be out here when it went dark and headed back inside to eat. By the time dinner rolled around, alright, I think I'm gonna stop it. I'm getting tired. My voice is getting tired, so I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Take care.